All right. Since we just started the recording, again, this is Canton's First Friday Poetry Spectacular. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's featured poet, Eva Xanthopoulos.
So is the water. There's just okay. Thank you, Vertigo, for having me here. I really appreciate it. My first poem is called Pale Blue Spheres. Summoning faces from distant places to fit into identical velvet molds. Societal grips have us in fists and seal our expanding minds with an icicle-toothed kiss. Fickle fire and boss eyes to our skulls. I'm sick of facades, false faces. Skin is merely a cover to a diary you have locked away from us. The contained pages screaming, read me, see me, for once, believe me. Fingers have been cut to joints, but I still hold hands. Eyelashes tangle together to keep us blind, but I'm still open, broken, reopen. Distractions, clocks, ticking, talking hands, cocking, ticking hands, tick-tock, tick-tock. Time in line, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, Friday, fry your mind's day. Cars and cash, economy crash, currencies clash, living merely to get by, survive, strive for another dollar to make you duller, the wallet stronger. Death due to boredom, routine, thoughtless explosive sex machines. A splash into forbidden pool of universal, forbidden, forbidden, desolate desert ridden. The mind full, mindless, the third eye blind dead. Shut up, you say, I don't want to hear it. The truth, fuck it, I don't want to be near it. Channel surfing, play rehearsing, routine verse and reversing. That's all I know, all I want to know, all I care enough to know, all they told me I should know. Your eyes, 2 pale blue dots. The earth, 1 dot, pale blue from afar. Define different. Are we really all that different? Entities, victims, enemies, coexisting longevity. A star is a seed in the sky illuminating ideas to the mind gone blind. A reminder of the universe dwelling inside. Who are you? Who am I? What are we? What the hell are we? We're the white in the great divine, up in the clouds. The black in the bags of Hades' eyes. The wine fueling alcoholism. The dimes feeding consumerism. The everything's annihilating nihilism. Whatever you think and don't think you are, we are. I am. Mistaken for Buddha. You breathe into me a breath that shakes me and awakens me. People mistake me for a Buddha, for a sun, but you're the sun that made me. The sun that photosynthesized my blinded eyes and turned them green, reflecting the flourishing leaves on the naked tree I used to be. You're the autumn that colors my leaves red, rusted, yellow, gold, and juice orange. Terrain is your canvas, painting with leaves fallen, raining on grounds to wash away their trash accumulated. And if the earth ever quakes, the that emanates from you will spread like wildfire. You trickle down my throat like a crisp rain droplet from the cerulean-streaked sky that I happen to catch with my thirsty mouth, revitalizing me, rejuvenating my once lost mind. Walking inspirations fuel my empty gas tank. Inspiration, as visible as air, is the most beautiful sight I have ever seen, the most wholesome air I have ever breathed. Masquerade. I follow masquerade faces to the place of displacement, along once yellow brick roads, now burnt orange, rusted, from walking facades with blistered feet, bleeding between parched seams. I look left, I look right. All I see are decapitated trees and feline eyes staring straight through into one of my many me's. I look up, I look down. I see sky and ground misaligned, walking on clouds, viewing upward at grassy green skies, raining rusted dust atop my splitting head. My hungered brain bursts from an overflow of weightless butterflies, from an excess of fallacies, lies. Beheaded friends and I mindlessly frolic into oblivion agape, eternal demise. And this one is titled Democrats and Republicans, and I kind of mess around with like the word. The last four letters of Democrats is rats, and the last four letters of Republicans is cans. Serifland underwent cardiac arrest back in the day. Was it ever a paradise to begin with? Followed by a series of mind implosions, nuclear explosions, and flesh corrosion, mostly obliteration. Was it all a waste? Grandma told you to separate iron from the mega blood cascade and feed it to some deprived seagull. Thou shalt not be wasteful in times like these. You're a creviced one, she'd say, bleak-beaked. A weakling thirsting for wet cement crimson cocktail. That woman, if woman is what she was, couldn't have been your grandmother. You continued to have biweekly nightmares about some veiled man, if man is what he was, shoving a funnel to your throbbing throat and emptying celestial contents into you. And the very moment euphoria tried to ignite you, a faceless woman jabbed a syringe into your skull and drained out the high you could have had. Realization behind alkaline metal bars. Cruel is what you call it. They call it fun. Sadistic cynicism of sorts. Ah yes, that blasted bird. You fed him some seeds. You knew your birds from your vampire bats. Innocent bloodshed is never wasted, only evaporated and rained back down into mother ground. Fly high, bird of the sea, chosen one. We are chosen one, not ones. Fly higher, glistening gull, until you no longer see lowest low, until you forget about all the world weight weighing you heavier. Transcend nihilism and communism, all those isms. Democrats and Republicans, rats and cans, canned rats, almost as deliciously disgusting as spam, preferably the spam with lowered sodium. Who's really the can? Who's really the rat? Is confinement in a tin can or within a rotting rat? Serifland had a heart transplant just recently, only preparing for its next attack. And you continue to have those nightmares in your waking life every single day. Thank you. Reform. I'm a crisis, a crying ISIS, walking on charred crucifixes labeled virtues and vices. Christ is somewhere in oblivion. Buddha calls it nirvana, oblivious to the evident desire, wanting, and ego flaunting, coursing through veins like river, swirling into grand funnel-mouthed goddess. I am chaos-coated bullet in the loaded magnum revolver, waiting to explode out my ego testicles. Much rather implode. Eyes have been bruised and over-misused, oozed out their last ion of pigment. Disintegration of shadow self, resurrection soon instigates. Heaven and hell gates, I break your doors. Confinement no more, revelation galore. Mistress Migraine. I don't need you. I don't even want you. Yet you keep coming back more intensely each time. You never take my best interests at heart because you're all in my head, piercing, poking, prodding me with your prickling finger from inside skull out. If only my third eye had teeth, it would rip your finger right off the joint. Didn't anyone tell you it's rude to point? Rude to poke without asking? To invade my membrane, my seemingly inner sane? What triggers your menacing masochist ways? You make me despise the one thing that would sustain me, music, no more. I've always loved the light, but now it's far too bright for these eyes, for this mind. Bright light, loud noise, insomnia, all invite you to explode this aching human encased in spherical, hollow bone cell. I need to murder you, spiteful, spaded queen. I want to vanquish you, migraine demoness. That's what you get for turning this brain of mine into a throbbing, pain-ridden mess. Waxless wings. Today, we rise north and set south. Behind me, I see wings, but not of wax. I won't pull an Icarus. These bird's-eye view sights, mountaintops, toy cars, needlehead-sized specks, dollhouse roofs, tiny winding roads and rivers like veins. Flight of a bird's mastered, as the sphere of flames makes its way into the horizon faster and faster, rushing to meet the moon on the other side to get a much-deserved goodnight kiss. Mind, sleep, heartbeat, spirit flies. It glides through the sky to the known unknowns, only to wake and look forward to the following night's Pablo Picasso travels. This mystical story written on a Carpathian rug continues to unravel. And this is my short epic poem, Blandland. There was a day many and many ago where noble heroes were shunned and cursed to live on the life of lone, never to be acknowledged nor loved. It was a place not of this earth, where saintly empresses were slaves and ripped of rights to birth. Queens of heart were turned to spade. Angels would be doomed to falter, and demon lieges would be made. There was no nature, mother, nor father. The virtuous were all stripped of their names. There were no flowers on this foreign land, no mountains or trees or beautiful things, only bruised hills and terrain stricken bland, a place where no bird flies nor sings. The only way in was through an eerie dock, a sharp-toothed gargantuan mouth agape, along with a throat full of fiendish flocks, awaiting to mold you into their own shape. The only way out was not known, inhabitants eternally encased, in black hellfire overgrown, in seraph-land debased. Those few light souls uncorrupted remained hidden and frightened, flooded with visions of volcanoes erupted, with chances sparse of enlightenment. The only set of eyes that would look into you were those of cobra, demonizing all who pass, turning the snowiest of white bloody blue, an evil so dark it would infinitely last. This was a time of the blackest age, where permeating gold was unheard of, a day long before Christ, Buddha, or sages, before the embracement of divine love. Come, come, my friends from far and we, I welcome you to Apocalypse Post. Though it may be hard to believe, this distant evil is on its way to our coast. So package all your love in sturdy bags and run to the moon, Venus, Mars. Anywhere but the soon-to-be land of rags, this world may no longer be ours. Unless tragic, flawless hero makes his ultimate appearance, sunlit sky will have visibility of zero and will fall into an era of anti-adherence. Human canvas. Sketch on me landscapes, my spine, the tree trunk, my veins, the vines, intertwine with air, losing touch with tangible. Etch birds on the branches, the lifeless limbs in need of a song. Snow on me, sky. My branches need white blankets to keep me warm. Paint in these line drawings with red to match the bloodshed in these nightmares of war. Nightmares of flames flying through mid-air into the forest. I burn alive. Splatter black ink onto my face to match the black holes, these inner gaps. Pale and dark, live and die, contrast of opposing colors combine. The tree, the vine, my eyes, they all breathe life. Melting snow forms pools beneath my feet. My roots absorb all they can, believe just enough for me to drown. In the air. Something's in the air, I swear. Up, up in the air, down, down, pushing me down. Inhale, 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 till there's no more air. Untrimmed grass blades stand still. Nothing's in the air, I swear. Up, up in the sky is my mind. Down, down on the ground are the soles of my feet. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Blow out the debris from the only cure to this incurable disease. Hate spreads like wildfire, the blazing sun a new enemy. Love is coated with sinful desire, glazed with ill words, filling lungs beyond capacity. Mind-contaminating sounds plant themselves in the brain, adding the in to sane, inching closer and closer to God only knows where. Can't anyone see? Something's in the air. I swear it's everywhere. So stop your complaining and your breathing, and keep on waiting until your heart stops beating. Black and red. I've become quite a monster as of late, embracing inner demon only to get closer to seraph drowning in bloodstream. Somewhere in the branching off rivers in my arms and legs, body is full of throbbing blackened red, tiny Medusa hair threads, good in intent, evil in action, satisfaction in place of emotion. I've lost myself, becoming a monstrosity. Me, I cannot recognize this me, this prison me, jail cell me, get me out of me. Must escape to heal these wounds agape, to heal my serrated name or find a new one to take its place. I'm floating through space. Daydream, flossing between two crooked protrusions, floating an asteroid belt. Negative space created to fill riverbeds with the tears of lit candles, soon to dry and wait for the sun to shine again, for sun to walk down celestial steps and melt to wear Icarus-winged faces. Nightmare 1. Eyes wander in black heaven's stillness, exhuming metallic paint-tipped wands out of pupils, splattering bare sky to mimic starry nights in Van Gogh's mind. Nightmare 2. Sun goes gothic, jealous of moon. Stars extinguish, envious of dark. Black holes eat excessively. Ill man sheds moonskin like locust, to release 7 sins, saturated by clouds, to rain on walking greed seeds. Daymare, heaving white curtains tinged with Mars dust to uncover suffocating seraphs, unscrewing Astrodome ceiling and releasing fireflies. Ode to a Daughter. You tried flipping the world over so it would listen to you from a different point of view. You begged for the clouds to rain happiness, hail peace. Then maybe, just maybe, you'd be happy, or the world would be, at least. You pleaded in whispers for him to stop degrading you to pieces. You barricaded yourself with the shards, temporary refuge, never from yourself. He would go deep. They'd all go deep. Never enough. Heart was never meant to touch head unprotected. You picked its skin to see your innermost in, but beneath dermis like cockroached walls, transparent to naked eyes. You tried and tried, cradling the globe in your arms, swaddled it even, but soon realized you lose everything when you suffocate it. You see so much love on silver screens in your vivid dreams, so many guns, anti-glove love, lust. I know he creeps up from the crevices in your mind. I know androphobia has planted itself between your legs. From now on, take "you're beautiful and I love you" with a grain of salt and pepper, just to be safe. Next time, know the difference between "I love you, you're beautiful" and "I love you, you are beautiful." You're my daughter, a daughter I don't have just yet, may never have, probably should not have, because I'm in the same boat as you. We both know a boat won't keep our receding demons afloat. This baggage sinks the biggest of ships. I'd cradle the world in my arms when you come into the world, if you come into my world, and tell you early in life what my parents neglected to tell me. You are the world. The world is you. We are each other. Am I good on time? Okay. Brittle-boned. Dear son, please don't end up like me. Brittle-boned, heart of stone, head of sponge, body unwilling to take that plunge. Price placer, a lapsed time chaser. A priceless moment of only $19.95. And $5 shipping and handling. Now blow out your candle, son, all 21. Look at the person you used to be. Compare it to who you've become. Tell me you don't see time spent spending today in a yesterday that won't take you to tomorrow. The tomorrow you'll probably waste with another yesterday. Your spirit weakens, your mental state wastes away. You brittle-boned boy, fuse your broken bits and take a walk. Come to a three-way stop and take the time to smell the daffodils, the roses, even those weeds. Actually, smell them. Look at the stars, Polaris, lost souls, the works. Actually, look at them. Listen to nature speak. It's a beautiful song. Let your mind reside in the moment. It won't cost you a thing. Happy birthday. Enjoy it while your youth is still intact. And please, please, don't ever end up like me, alone in a dark box wishing I could have spent more time in today. Ticking spheres. Linear time displayed on ticking spheres. Time bombs ready to explode, to awaken the asleep within. Two bent lines joining forces, smoothing edges a circle forms, displaying truth in a single shape. Time can't be measured in a line. A lifeline misleads. We're a circle of life living on a 3D ball of crust and H2O with no start or end. Bend a mind, bend linear time. Think outside of the four-line conjoined box. Find the keys to unlock all the roadblocks. These barbed wire cages. Within us there are sages waiting for the right time to shine through. Shedding of skin began since birth. Exposure of divine you awaits. The flame was always there. It's up to us to extinguish or sustain. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Eva. Mike is suffering hang on. Stay. Yeah, this is the part that's recording. The mic is suffering erectile dysfunction here. Stay. All right. Sorry about the bit of noise we picked up back there. There was, for those watching on the internet, this is the recital hall for the Canton Symphony Orchestra. It is in the Cultural Center, which shares space with the Canton Art Museum and the Canton Players Guild Theater. And there was a youth production going on in the Players Guild Theater that just let out a little bit ago. So that was all the kids coming out screaming. And then closed the doors outside our little lobby and didn't realize that they lock from the outside. And there's people trying to get in. That was fun. All right. Now we come to the Poetry Slam. We need judges. And I had somebody I was trying to get to judge online who disappeared, and I had somebody else who's not interested. And so we need 3 judges. Anne, will you judge? Yes, Anne was a teacher I know at Massillon when I went to Massillon Washington High, so that definitely qualifies somebody to judge poetry as far as I'm concerned. Eva, as the feature, will you judge the slam? Yes. And we need one more who is somebody not here competing. I'm going to say, any volunteers? Yay, okay. Okay. Excuse me as I still try to keep my breath going here. Head colds are not fun, especially not when you have to MC poetry. And my backup MC moved to Cleveland, so it doesn't drive, so. All right. Poetry Slam, the rules. You have 3 minutes. If you go over, you lose points. You get a 10-second grace period, but once you hit 10 seconds over, you just lost a half a point. You hit 20 seconds, that's a full point. So on and so on and so on. So if you get up here and do a 6-minute poem, chances are your score will be like 0. I've actually now seen it happen. Akeem's back there chuckling. I have seen that happen. And we have frequently seen it where, that half point is all the difference in, first place or second place. Going on to the next round, we watched that happen at a World Poetry Slam this year, at least once that I remember. Okay. No props, no costumes, no throwing your hat at the audience, no musical instruments. I don't see anybody trying to sneak a guitar up here. And it has to be an original piece that you wrote yourself. I actually watched it happen. It wasn't a poetry slam, but it was a competition-related event where somebody went up and read somebody else's work, and nobody else caught it but me. That was interesting. If she'd won, I would have had to have said something, and I'd have been the asshole. But judges, don't let the audience sway you. Audience, do your best to sway the judges. Make some noise. Hoot and holler. Let's get some noise up in here. We got all these kids out there screaming. Let's let them know there's something cool going on in here, too. And it's the sinuses. I'm half deaf, so I couldn't hear any of that anyway. Okay, it is your judges. You'll be judging from 0 to 10. A 10 is, oh my God, I want to have your babies. A 0 is, oh my God, don't ever pick up a pen again. You can use decimal places, no more than 1 decimal. I'm a publisher, not a mathematician. Don't give me pi as a slam score. I can't do that kind of math. There was something else I'm supposed to say up here too. Oh yeah, I'm skipping that. Never mind. It's you're supposed to go into the history of slam, and everybody no. Y'all know that. Y'all know what we need to know. Okay, real quick before we get started, February 18th, Poets Haven's Saturday show, every other month now at Phoenix Coffee in South Euclid. We will be featuring Ariana Cherie and Catherine Criswell. Next month, here at the Canton First Friday Poetry Spectacular, we will have, I'm about to butcher the name, Jessica Skrzypiak. I cannot pronounce that, which is probably why she goes by the stage name The Poet Suspicious. We also have a new open mic event here in Canton on the fourth Tuesday of every month at Karma Cafe near Belden Village. We have flyers out by the display out in our little lobby. Please grab them. Please grab more. Hand them to your friends. Get your friends to come to more poetry events. I'm sure there's lots of other poetry events I should be up here plugging, but I'm only worrying about the ones that I'm involved in right now. All right, are we ready for a poetry slam? Our first competitor this evening is Peter Hessman. I remembered one other thing I was supposed to say. The clock starts the first word you say on the mic, the first word you say while your feet are on the stage. So you can stand up here, you can adjust, you can center yourself. As soon as you say a word, the clock starts. If you're chatting while walking up here, the clock starts as soon as your foot hits the stage. Don't kill your time. I've seen that happen now way too many times.
Good enough. Catalogs. We got them, lots of them, in one day. Towards Christmas, of course. We got a catalog for shoes, objects to put into shoes, polish to put on shoes, shoelaces, buckles, velcros to keep the shoes on. All separate catalogs. Anybody interested in how to obtain one? They're all free. We have catalogs for plants, ants on plants, how to get rid of ants on plants, how to transplant a plant with an ant, how to transplant a plant by an ant, but how to transplant an eggplant. A catalog that tells you how to think when we write, what colors of the ink. The catalog about the kitchen sink and a crossword puzzle you can't think. We have catalogs on socks, clocks, how to clean a clock, rocks, locks, and a lonely dock. How to get into the school of hard knocks. The last catalog we got today had it, types of food to eat. How to take care of your feet, types of people you need to meet, parties you have to go that are offbeat. How to stay upbeat, and most of all, not to mistreat people you know who go by the name of Pete. Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
All right, judges, what's your scores? Yep, you gotta put them up. I need to be able to read it. Both sides of that are writable. Okay. Brutal. From low to high, we have a 4. We have a 7.8, and we have an 8.5. Let's hear it for Peter. Next up, Ariana Cherie.
My mother has restless hands. She is every Home Depot's dream customer, constantly renovating rooms with uncomfortably introduced conversations and anything from aisle 7. After speeding through the expected salutations while talking to my sister, she says, "Oh, honey, the cuts on Ariana's arms are fading so nicely." Because self-vandalism is really stretch marks. Cocoa butter will clear that right up. Mother, there are vivid memories running away from home. I may be broken, but thank God for duct tape. You taught me that. I am a basement made of old memories that like to make themselves known on occasion. The walls stink of loss and mold. The air is thick, the woodwork sweat. My throat leads to my remains of too much meat and not enough bones. It descends into a tartarous cell of wild hallucinations, pulling back the wallpaper like dead skin. I've got to get this out of my room. All while my mother wants to decorate. She finds these purple pills to cover the carpet that has been skinned bald, duct tape to stop the ceiling from disappearing, and something from aisle 7 to keep the concurrent death sentences quiet that's creating asbestos in the house. What my mother doesn't seem to realize is not everyone is a do-it-yourself project. She's only feeding the white noise. They whisper dead sins. They whisper dead sins and something of praying. They whisper dead sins and the quiet laws of praying to a father that only responds in invoices. I've got to get out of this basement. Install an emergency switch on my body. I cut in the shape of exit signs. Install an emergency switch on my body. She's trying to save me, but her hands revolt into arthritis against her wishes of creating a panic button to save this basement she calls her daughter. I cannot love this condemned building the way she does. It is not a conscious thing, you know, treating this closet space like a fire drill. My emotions morbidly search for a place to die comfortably, but there isn't any more room left between this delirium terrorizing itself. She has taken my tools. Everything looks so sharp. The air is thick. The room is toxic. All I see is a crimson exit sign. I have no resolution, no room, no knife, no body or a knife to cut the tension with.
All right, judges. All right, from low to high, we have a 6, we have a 7, and we have an 8.6. Let's get another round of applause for Ariana. Next up, Steve Brightman.
This is titled "To Caution Children." In the green, veiny decades of the immediate past, we gave birth to the caution children. We gave birth to the Blue Ribbon Committee of Participation is Enough. We gave birth to a double-jointed generation who flexed their nonplussed shoulders, wrists, and elbows to pat their unused backs, to pat the backs that have not learned to do it wrong and then bear the yellowed weight of that failure. They cannot disappoint because they have no expectation. The caution children chirp for figurative worms, and they are fed. The caution children each have a sign in their front yard telling the world to slow down because the caution children are at play. Thank you.
Stay. Okay. All right, judges. All right, from low to high, we have a 7, a 9, and a 9. Let's give it up for Steve. Next up, Christina Brooks.
The Seer. One morning, life walked in on you. It shook you, pulled off the blankets, drew back the curtains, and beckoned. And you followed, because you knew where it led. You knew it led to that tantalizing off-road journey that you couldn't resist. You could feel the pull of it, could hear its call vibrating in you. You wanted to try it on like the bright Oaxacan sun. Because when you were born, you were marked by the stars. Your feet were anointed with red ochre and sampa. You were called to follow the path of the waxing and waning moon. The early dawn's pelt was draped across your shoulder, and you were chosen by the light. You dropped marbles from the tower, one by one, individual offerings sounding in the infinite abyss. You mixed water with wine to brew the consciousness we drink. You string together coral reefs and birdsong and the flight of bumblebees. They flutter there in the wind, small flags of revelation. You offer them meekly, along with the butter lamps and fire on your private altar. They are the smoke that curls from the incense. They are the ash that drops from it in silence. The world rubs shoulders with us. The divine has a way of working itself into our shoes and beneath our nails. It works itself into the smudges on our sleeves and into the peeling paint on old church doors and cracks in the sidewalk. Like the grains of sand that are swept to the center of a pearl, leaving seed thoughts as fragile representatives of themselves, concrete and asphalt, supernova and ant. All are made from the same substance. All breathe the same fire. All speak the same language, a language that you understand. We are all messiahs here, and we are all also prisoners on this wheel, each twisted into the fabric of the universe, each overlapping fretwork in the intimate design. But we are also the dust on the mirror, the hole in the ice, the empty bowl, and the flowing river. Thank you.
All right, from low to high, we have an 8. We have a 9.3 and a 9.8. Let's hear it for Christina. Next up, Kathy Carr.
This is called dignity, always dignity. Researchers say that toilet seats have fewer germs on them than a cell phone. Perhaps poop and pee do not count as germs. Or perhaps they mixed up the petri dishes. Either way, convincing women that a public commode could ever be considered clean is akin to convincing men that breasts were made for breastfeeding. Consequently, upon entering the bowels of a public restroom, we use the tips of our fingers to gingerly open one graffiti-laden door after another in order to find a toilet suitable enough to void in. Often a semi-clean toilet in a repulsive stall supersedes an immaculate stall which houses a latrine of questionable character. This is odd, since most of us won't actually let our posteriors come within an inch of any public toilet. Instead, we hover, suspending our hindquarters over the gaping mouth of the toilet bowl lest we contract a fatal disease through our derriere. This is also unusual, since hovering is likely the culprit of the execrable conditions found in public lavatories in the first place. Note that an anatomically normal female's anus points in the southerly direction when she allows her cheeks to rest on the seat of the toilet. Therefore, the feces splattered across the back of the crapper and up the wall behind it must have come from a woman who was having intestinal issues while she was hovering. Additionally, should a woman be in the proper position for urination, it would be physically impossible for any of the golden liquid, or pale yellow if she's well hydrated, to end up on the seat, since it's being occupied by her thighs and her buttocks. However, on the other hand, hovering on the other hand means there's no telling where the urine might end up. Sometimes it shoots off to the left and then in midstream switches all the way to the right, and we're forced to adjust our position on the fly. A few virtuous ladies may put forth the effort to clean up any mess they've left behind, whereas the majority of us will stealthily exit the stall, reunite with our friends, and demand, what kind of woman would leave urine all over the seat of a toilet? Indeed, we are well aware of how crucial it is to scrutinize the cleanliness of a toilet before we commit to using it. Unfortunately, we do not always have the luxury of selecting the most appealing commode. If all the toilets are occupied, we must wait in line for our turn to make a deposit in the porcelain bank. If a woman who appears to have agreeable hygiene emerges from a stall, we heave a great sigh of relief and practically skip to the loo. On the contrary, if she looks as though eau de toilette is a good synonym for perfume, we trudge slowly toward the stall like murderers being led to the gas chamber. We shudder and suck in what might just be our last whiff of fresh air, and thereupon we valiantly attempt to hover and pee and wipe, all without breathing, lest we allow even the tiniest bit of the noxious gases to enter our lungs. Despite our dirty little secrets, it is imperative that we ladies don't allow the perception of women as the fairer sex to be vitiated. If a gentleman were to inquire about the condition of the ladies' room, we shall answer, "Sir, our restrooms are so clean that the toilet seats have fewer germs on them than your cell phone. Researchers have proven it."
At my father's shop, there's a plaque on the restroom wall that my mother bought for him years ago. Our aim is to keep this bathroom clean. Your aim will help. I've since seen at a Chinese restaurant near here in their restroom an addendum to that. Ladies, please remain seated for the duration of the ride. Gentlemen, stand close and aim low. It's shorter than you think. All right, from low to high, we have an 8, an 8.5, and an 8.9. Let's hear it for Kathy. Next up, Akeem Jamal Rollins. Stay.
Our bones will make love in the dust. Our skeletons, smashing, click-clack, make the sound of a cold beer losing its top, a toast. This is how I seduced you. The night we met, I was upside down, losing my insides, and a truck driver named Stan, you, my brown goddess, you were all red dressed with white seams shouting your name. When the bartender slid you from behind his wrist, I thought it was a magic trick. How one man could possibly slip his hand into heaven and steal an angel so quick without shaking or stirring. I made my way toward you. The neon lights French kissed all over me. I was more hip than top. You were more seduction than drink. You told me my name. I thought you knew that we were destined. Or maybe I just left my badge on again, either way. The way my name bubbled up out of your neck, the pop of our first conversation, the fizz I felt in my froth, baby, you were the one for me. This is my love song to you, Coca-Cola. This is me, your rum, baby. It was love at first clink. My mouth was made this slim so I could fit inside you perfect. These wide hips and sideways square impressions on my glass skin were made so I could be the only diamond you would ever need. The big hairy humans give the smaller ones with their faces painted on those rings, but baby, just take me as an offering for your body. I heard the barkeep admiring your shape. Said you were built after something called a Maryland, but Coke, I'd never pour in her mouth, never mix as well as us. Them humans paint themselves on like the artwork hanging above the pool table, some fleshy canvas, but we're just hot glass, hot sand, and labels. Humans come from the dirt too, I hear. Guess we ain't so different. The first time we made love, our labels slipped off, our lids clanked, our insides mixed. I was so nervous, I'ma sweat out all my alcohol content. By the time we were done, baby, you left me with no proof. Coke bottle, baby. We love with our stomachs. So do the humans. They just don't know what those butterflies mean like we do. You even moved to my shelf after in this tavern. We made a home. Even when you started emptying out my love, I still thought you were beautiful, baby. When the men begged to gulp down your insides, bar stools full of cancer cells, I still mixed with you like our labels were slipping that day. When the barmaid let you condensation slip from her fingertips, I felt the proof boiling out of my clear bones. The neon lights buzzed all at the same time. A hive of mourning shouted at me to catch you, to save you. So I jumped, Coca. I leapt too. As we both plummeted like proposal tears, my love, when I saw how the floor doesn't swallow its drinks properly, I exploded after you. We mixed there with everything we had left, which wasn't much by then, but it was everything we had left. Our bones will make love in the dusty corners of every bar that people fall for each other in. This world will never know a love more legendary than us, a rum and Coke.
All right, judges. From low to high, we have an 8, a 9, and a 10. Let's hear it for Akeem. And Akeem, you're going to be getting 327, 1-point penalty. Next up tonight, Aria.
Stone-faced girl. I walked upon a cemetery once, and I came upon a stone angel, and I stared at her, so cold and still. She watched the world go by. From her post upon the hill, over a girl's rotting corpse she stands, unknown to most, covered by moss and dying leaves. Her magnificence is now overshadowed. She watches through those stone eyes, gray and hollow. The goings by of the seasons, the changing of the tides, the moving of the times. But through all of this hurrying and rushing of the world, she remains silent and still, never questioning or judging, only watching. She's been here longer than she can remember, but time has no span on a heart of stone, I suppose. This beautiful stone-faced girl will stand upon the hilltop, immune to time's sway. Here she will stay until the wind and rain will lead even her stone body to decay.
All right, we have a 6, and an 8. Let's hear it again for Aria. Next up, I might want to dash over there to adjust the volume real quick. Diane Borsnick.
Cravings. I want to braid hair. I want to quilt. I want to be the one who picks up all the pieces and glues them back together when the milk has spilt. I want to be the ringmaster. I want to be the chair. I want to be the FEMA lion arriving in a timely fashion to show the disaster I care. No, don't want to be the tsunami. Don't want to be the storm. Don't want to scud through cities dispersing waves of hysteria as killer bees would do, but oh, I would like to swarm. I want to be the bristles. I want to be the paint. I ache to make life my canvas, fleck, daub, stipple my way to masterpiece. I want to be my own saint. I want to bark at the neighbors. I want to disturb the peace. I want to knock down the fences, run free in the streets. I want to be the loaves. I want to be the fishes. I want to be the fireflies, the shooting stars, the candles on the cake. I want to be the wishes. I want to capture this moment in an amber drop of Kodak memory and flash it around for all the world to see, spreading peace and love and equality and acceptance and serenity and truth with a contagious passion. I want to start a revolution, but without nuclear war. I want to hack the system, take decisions about taxes, education, spending, healthcare, marriage, and armament out a whole new door. I want to be the composition. I want to be the twist and shout. I want a deadhead, a tarantella of hope around the room. I want to work it all out. I want to be the fermentation. I want to be the hops. I want to intoxicate the nation, douse everyone in optimism, pull out all the stops. I crave to be a part, the very heart of this thing called change that we've all been raving about.
All right, from low to high, we have a 9, a 9.5, and a 10. Let's hear it for Diane. Next up, T.M. Goddell.
Even after the floods and the mirror ball pageants, even after the stepstone telephones, even after the headlamps and broken glass reflected the maize and phosphor pennants, even then, my words couldn't save you. Penny by penny, a will is broken. That's the way of the Norns and the Moray. Whether they pour buckets of sand and water or weave thread into cloth, they will find you broken or they will break you. You will bear your empty hands or they will pry your grip. You will go or they will take you. This is the way it is. This is the way it always happens. When you surrender, they'll take your silver shoes, your silken ties, your dresses, your wallet. Don't even wear your wedding ring. They'll take that from you too. Keep your twilight, your kindness. Remember to read and write. Leave prayers folded in your pockets and shoes. Stitch your magic around your heart with heavy black thread. Don't wear it in baubles around your neck. Everyone here dresses in red. They will seal your mouth with a lead crest. You will place telephone calls to Valhalla, to Hecla, to Sinai, but they will claim your ravens before they can make it back to Woden's shoulders. My words can't help you. I don't get to decide where the monsters sit. We press our hands to the plate glass, our ears to the receiver. Acrylic landscapes deceive, paving faces with plastic. The green-blue alloy of coils and fish scales balances the yoke, heavy with sandstone and grief. I need to speak with someone about the Nirvana tigers. I need to speak with someone about the street-lamped contemplatives. I need to speak with someone about the green-stained glass, about the pewter nightlight. You eat cake and rice, but still you hunger. I unhinge my jaw to swallow the moon and carry it 300 miles until pieces splinter from it, a shrapnel of rock and reflections. We call for water, for oil, for bread. The recycled goddesses embroider. 5 stitches make a flower, while humming their widowed waltz, leaving you face up in a field of lavender. Breathe deeply of the incense of the healers. And roar. Don't wait for the coffee and the smoky samovar. Don't wait for the taxi cab. Don't wait for the sainted king with his army to emerge from the mountain at your need. You will grow feathers between the toes of your paws, from the tuft of your tail, from the whiskers at your cheeks. Don't remain silent. When you roar, you will fly.
All right, from low to high, we have a 9.5, a 9.6, and a 10. Let's get another round of applause for Teresa. The final competitor of the evening. Put your hands together for Skylark.
A letter to myself in October 2007. Dear Skylark, you've scared yourself lately. You've scared yourself more than anyone ever scared you in a lifetime of fear-based religion. It's the driving. I know you have intolerable thoughts of just veering off that bridge or into that tree. You don't want to do it, but surviving one more day of this entirely mundane, insignificant existence with only a few pinpricks of reason to keep going, you're not sure you can do it. I know the bile rises in your throat when you think about getting behind the wheel, hands shaking, praying to any listening deity that this will not be that day. The day that disappoints everyone you cannot live for anymore. The uncontrollable images of crashing, careening, of disintegrating into nothing. It continues. So you stay up most of every night, watching any DVD that will fill your mind with something besides this emptiness. The loneliness that crept up on you, snuck into your apartment, and refused to leave. It happened while you were out reporting on somebody else's life. At the newspaper, you all worked hard to get out of the way of the story. If you were doing it right, it was though you didn't exist. You will find yourself clutching the phone tonight, sobbing into the ear of a friend a few miles away, because you realized after a day making pine wreaths at a Christmas tree farm for a light-hearted news story that even the fun parts of the job are not enough to stave off what you know will happen. What will happen if you don't change everything? Your friend will be shocked. He will think your tears are something you will just move on through by daybreak and you'll be fine. But he doesn't know the depth of your desperation that scurried in on rodent feet at night. So you'll turn in your 2 weeks' notice tomorrow. Make plans to leave next month for another country. A South American land you hope will distract your mind with something more important than you. This running away will work for a while. The hideous carousel of emotions that point to self-destruction while driving will not stop until you face them. Until you fling yourself off the merry-go-round, vomit in the dirt from the increasing dizziness, and let someone else help you up.
All right. From low to high, we have an 8.8, an 8.9, and a 9. Let's get another round of applause for Skylark. Math time, one moment. All right. In third place tonight, taking home $20 thanks to Arts and Stark, with a score of 27.2, Christina Brooks. In second place, taking home $30 thanks to Arts in Stark, with a score of 28.5, Diane Borsnick. And in first place, February's Canton First Friday Poetry Slam champion, with a score of 29.1, T.M. Goddell. I think I need to experiment with the mic stands before the show a little bit more. There's like 30 of them back there to choose from, so wonderful thing about Arts and Stark hooking us up with this venue. This is a phenomenal venue. Thank you to Arts and Stark for letting us do this here. If, ladies and gentlemen watching at home now or later, we can seat up to 220 people in here. We need a lot more poetry butts here in this auditorium. Come out to Canton on First Fridays. We got this wonderful art festival going on. There's still time to go see stuff in the art gallery. Some of the galleries are open till 10 or 11 o'clock. Big thank you to Arts and Stark for letting us do this. This is I should also plug, we are keeping points for Lake Effect Poetry with this event. The poets competing here tonight are accumulating points to qualify for the final competition to get on Northeast Ohio's National Poetry Slam team. The other event that is accumulating points is Root and Slam at the Root Cafe in Lakewood on the 4th Friday of the month. So please try to make it out to that as well, especially if you want to, be the top ranked points person or anything. We didn't have enough people there wanting to compete last week to have a slam. It was kind of dismaying. Please come out to that show too. We need slammers there. That brings us to a close tonight. This has been Canton's First Friday Poetry Spectacular. We will see you back here next month with the poet Suspicious. I can't butcher that part of her name. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night.